skies turn to gray, and I feel like I'm losing love again. I don't know how I'm here. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel it somewhere you're looking down. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel it somewhere you're looking down. 'Cause it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna breathe. And it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna need.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Vertex Stock Car Cup on a beautiful Friday night, and welcome to the Daytona International Speedway for another installment of the Vertex Stock Car Cup, but not as you know it. Here tonight we are hosting the 1987 Firecracker 200, the Firecracker 400, of course, being the very famous NASCAR race that used to take place on the 4th of July in the 80s. And here we are then for half of the race distance. We're using the newer 1987 bits of machinery that iRacing have brought out. I am Chaz Draycott, your host for the evening. Unfortunately, we do not have Chris Dawes with us tonight. Chris has got a very important race meeting at Donington Park this weekend that he needs to be alert and ready for. And in his words, he needs his beauty sleep. But we wish him all the best with that, and he's going to be commentating in the box at Donington Park on historic Formula 1 cars for the next few days. So my oh my, is he in for a great weekend. But we're in for a great evening here on Vertex. We've got qualifying going on at the moment. I'm just looking at Justin Naya, and I tell you what, I've not been very acquainted with these cars yet so far, but wow, they are fantastic. Absolutely incredible. And don't forget, of course, we'll go on board here. As you can see by how damn bumpy it is around here, we're on the old Daytona from 2008. So these guys are going to have a very bumpy ride around here. Naya goes fastest to 46.176. We'll show you the dashboard. In the right, you can see they're doing north of 300 kilometers an hour around here. This is Hans Blanket. Brian Krause has gone top. Patrick Hathaway just behind him. Look at the speed and the wobble and wobbliness. It's crazy, honestly. The speeds that these cars are getting around here are fantastic. So we're in for a real treat tonight. I'm going to be trying some of the TV cameras so you can get a better view of it. But the pace of them around here is phenomenal. Adrian Burks is out for Blitz Motorsports. Now, we don't have the biggest grid in the world here tonight. However, we're going to see some epic racing all the same. Here is Alex Cedric in the number 18. He's using that high line with the bumps and the bangs all the way along there. We're going to have 80 laps, 200 miles. And I've been told that the tyres, once you get to about 5 laps in, as reigning champion of the Vertex Stock Car Cup, Aaron Smith goes fastest for Revolution Satellite Racing. I've just got to edit Aaron's name on here just to make sure we've got the right one. There you go, Revolution Satellite Racing does show up now. Beautiful. But yes, Aaron recently won the championship, and look at that fantastic retro livery that he has on that car. Bear with me 2 seconds, you will see the iRacing UI come up because we're going to zoom some of these cameras in. Just so we get a bit of a better look at the cars. Because we need to see it. Aaron Smith goes pole though. We'll skip it back just to see his fast lap in a moment. And he drives it in behind behind the pits. I did ask him to do that as well. So thank you, Aaron. Yeah, like I say, just going to zoom the cameras in a little bit because you need to really appreciate these liveries in these cars. They do look sensational. There's another one for us to zoom in. And then one more. And we should be good. That was his slowdown lap, of course, that we're watching now. All the same, rapid pace once again from Aaron Smith. Like I said, reigning champion now of the Vertex Stock Car Cup. And what a performance it was all season from him. And we're now getting to the end of the session. Alex Sedgwick is just slowing the car down. We have three Chevrolets tonight and 5 Fords. So we've got the 2 Fords at the top of Aaron Smith and Ivan Bauman's. Session now over, and it will tick over and give us a grid then. So Aaron Smith pole, Ivan Bauman's alongside him, Alex Sedgwick lines up 3rd, Patrick Hathaway is 4th. Look at how close those times are between those 3. And then you've got Brian Crowles just behind, Adrian Burks is 6th, Justin Nair for Stage 1 Racing will line up in 7th in car 77, and Hans Blanquet is 8th, and the 9th name that you see on the list there is our race controller this evening, which is Rob Pearson from LuxSim24. So hello Rob, we hope you're enjoying yourself in the race control box at the moment, and we are sure to speak with you later. But these guys have put some great retro liveries on these cars, and let me say as well, Patrick Hathaway in their car looks like he has put some real effort into this. We're going to go on the chase cam. We're going to break the immersion for just a second because you need to have a look at this. He's got the neon yellow on one side here in that fantastic Ford. He's got his name above the door as well, and then around the other side as well. Look at that pattern. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? The asymmetric livery there of the Student Motorsport colours. And what a cracking job he's done of that. Looks stunning. Absolutely stunning. And proper 80s cars, aren't they? They're exactly how they should be, and we absolutely love them for it. But yeah, that the Student Motorsport boys definitely know how to paint a car, let me tell you that. James Harvey's cars have been looking stunning in the Vertex Stock Car Cup in both seasons that he's been racing in, and they painted an Indy Pro 2000 car not too long ago, and let me tell you, that thing was gorgeous as well. That was I described it as soft pornography at the time because it was honestly stunning. Properly stunning. So we're just waiting for the guys to get underway then. Oh, we've had a bit of an issue there with the timer on the left. There you go. Right then, so they'll get a full pace lap here for this one. Pace car leads them away. Aaron Smith in the number 70 Revolution Satellite Racing car alongside Ivan Bauman's for Track Velocity Racing. Ivan's been very active in the YouTube chat in each of the rounds so far. But we hope you enjoy the stream wherever you may be watching. I see you there on the Vertex Sport Management Facebook page. Good evening, guys. Good evening. What a race we are in for here. Maybe a small grid, but let me tell you, these smaller grid races are often the better ones because the guys get more chance to really go for it, and you can go from being at the back of the pack to the front of the pack very quickly. So, Alex has said after 5 laps, it is definitely not flat out around here because of how bumpy and sketchy it is. And the fuel will last about 30 laps, so they're definitely going to be pitting in this one. For fuel anyway, that's if they don't pit for tyres. We're hoping not to see any safety cars or any damage on these cars tonight, but whether we can trust them is another story, isn't it? So Aaron Smith, as he has done a lot of times this season, is going to lead the pack around to get this underway. Pace car, lights are off, he's ready to pull into the box. It's the number 70 Revolution Satellite Racing car leading them. Don't these things look mega? The music is over, and wow, Aaron Smith gets his foot down nice and early there. Alex Sedgwick's gone with him. Ivan Bauman's can't do anything about it. Brian Crowles as well has gone down the inside. He's apparently doing it for Dale, as it says on the back of his car. Patrick Hathaway's lost out on this as well. Adrian Burks is now going to go down the inside of those pair. Just behind them is Justin Nair, and Hans Blanquet is just watching this from the back thinking, go on then, I'll let you boys go at it. But look at these bits of kit around here. It is fantastic. Absolutely amazing. The wonderful, nostalgic nature of sim racing is being flexed to the greatest of its ability right now. Alex Cedric takes the lead. Brian Crowell's just behind him, trying to hold it up there on the high line. Look at the sparks coming off Aaron Smith's car all the way down that bottom line. Look at them. Epic stuff, wiggling around like mad on the exit. There's so much character from these cars. They're such handfuls. Alex is keeping it up high. You can hear them just skipping along down the straight. It's epic. Absolutely epic. So Aaron Smith still leads the way. Brian Crowell's tucked in behind. He's got Adrian Burks on the inside, Alex Cedric on the outside, then Patrick Hathaway in 5th. Justin Naya is behind them as well in the very bright yellow and green Next Level Racing car. Flying down the back straight. Alex giving Brian a little bit of a push there by the look of it, in the very blocky front end of his Chevrolet. Oh, it sounds like a bit of contact. I think someone may have kissed the wall a little bit. I think Patrick Hathaway, yeah, it was Patrick. He's hit the wall there and he's dropped a couple of places. Let's see what happened here. Let's have a look at Patrick then. He's on the outside line. They were saying earlier that these cars do wash up wide to the outside. Yep, there you go. It just bobbles around. Oh, and he hits it twice. Wow, that is a big hit as well. The car really does bounce along it quite a few times. This is the battle for the lead, though. Cedric and Brian Crowell side by side. Jack says, looks fun as hell out there. Amazing commentary. Thank you very much, Jack. I hope you're enjoying the show, mate. Look at these lot. Sparks everywhere. I think that looks fantastic. Honestly, I'm so excited. This is amazing. Brian Crowell's very sideways on the outside there. Ivan Bauman's has to drop down just to make sure he doesn't make contact with Justin Naya. 2x2x2. Chris Dawes would describe it as Noah's Ark round there. Oh, into the wall. Justin Naya and into Bauman's. The two of them hit the wall hard, and that's going to bring out yellow. Plenty of damage on those cars, front and rear. We do have a fast repair. Oh, Patrick Hathaway takes what is definitely going to be known as evasive manoeuvres. Oh, it was such a shame there between those boys. Let's have a look at what happened. Justin's just got wide and it just bounces off the wall. Really bounces off the wall. Ivan Bauman's had a hell of a spin there. Let's go on board with him. So you're just driving along and then you hear the contact. Tiny tap, bang, and around it goes. And you're going to get very, very dizzy from that. And then suddenly, there he goes. That's Patrick Hathaway showing us that they're not bad as rallycross cars, these bits of kit. But we have our first caution of the race on lap 5. Those guys just recovering now. Ivan Bauman's in the Track Velocity racing car, Justin Naya in the Next Level Racing machine. They do have fast repairs though, so hopefully they can get them sorted. So Aaron Smith now onto the back straight. Brian Crowell's will be just behind the pace car. Adrian Burks slams on, turns the front left into a snowplow. But you can really see that in Adrian Burks' car, that the front left really does dig into the ground in these things. They've not got any aero, if that. So they were set up very much so that the front left sort of points down. You can see it there, and you could also see it on Justin Naya's car as he came past. Actually, sorry, I think it was Patrick Hathaway. Yeah, it was. They really do dig down into the ground. So that right rear is, it's like a dog cocking its leg. We're going to get single file restarts tonight, Alex has made me aware. Lapped cars on the inside. But I don't think they have to worry about that just yet. So, just trying to see if any of these guys are going to come in the pits. Ivan Bauman's has not, Justin Naya has not. Let's have a look at the pace car from Brian Crowell's point of view. Okay. So they're going to be doing more laps behind the pace car. He's dumping the clutch in as well to make the fuel last. You can hear that. It sounds like someone's left a tap on though when it idles. Listen. Wow. That's very, very few revs. And Adrian Burks and Brian Crowell's the only two cars not to come in the pit lane. So Aaron Smith is in there as well. Just behind him you can see Alex Cedric. The car, yeah, we're not going to mention that. There is the 268 of Ivan Bauman's pulling in behind. Look at the damage on the front of the car. It's really crumpled and crinkled. It's like a used Kit Kat. Or a Kit Kat wrapper anyway. I wouldn't want to see what a used Kit Kat looks like, to be honest. But Brian Crowell, though, takes the risk here. Adrian Burks as well. Feels that it's worth it. The pace car, of course, just showing you how Ford didn't really improve the aerodynamics of their cars since 1987. But that Ford is gorgeous, isn't it? I must admit, out of the two, while Adrian Burke's car there, the Chevrolet, does look good, I mean, it's very retro, and I think in the Dale Earnhardt livery, it's the only livery you could really put on that car, to be honest, because it just looks amazing. But even still, just the pointy nose of the Ford, I think, just looks absolutely top-notch. Really do love it. And it shows you how the limits were pushed in those days. Chevy Monte Carlo, a big old brick. As interestingly, Brian Crowell is now in. Aaron Smith is back in the pit lane again. That's a very odd one. Alex Sedgwick back in the pits as well. Have these guys been speeding in the pit lane? Let's have a look at Aaron Smith, see where he goes. Does he just get a drive through? He is stopping, so that's a very odd one there. We'll drag Alex in and see what the situation is. Alex, we've noticed you and Aaron have stopped twice. What's going on, buddy?
Just get a little bit extra fuel. So we're not gonna lose too many spots, and still a long way from being able to get to the finish on a tank. So the more the better, really.
Yep, fair play, fair play. Well, what are you making of the racing so far? I mean, I know we've only done a couple of laps, but it looked like a hell of a lot of fun with these things bobbling around all over the place. Sparks everywhere as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great fun, you know. No restrictor plates, no real grip, bias ply tires, really soft car. So yeah, you're always on the edge. You're always in a bit of a four-wheel slide, basically. So it's a bit hairy when you're side by side or in a pack, but yeah, huge amount of fun. Obviously, a lot less technology than nowadays, and about 20-25 miles an hour faster. So yeah, can't go wrong.
Yep, definitely, mate. Well, enjoy the rest of it. I'll drag you back down. Alex there then, just joining up with the rest of the pack. We've got Patrick Hathaway at the front with the safety car lights off. But yeah, as I was saying, look at that Ford. It's so pretty. So pretty. Really does look the part. And it looks the part at the front for Patrick Hathaway. He gets his foot down. He's got Hans Blanquet behind him there in the very interesting colour combination of the Stage 1 racing car. Then he's got the Next Level Racing modified version of the Ford there for Justin Naya. It's the open wheel spec that he's got. Alex is right on the back of him already and swings it around the outside. Look at the pace Alex has got off that start. How has he done that? Hans Blanquet has got nowhere to defend that. And Alex is straight up into second place. So he was saying you're not going to lose too many spots from it, and he does not mind. Ivan Bauman's is further down the order at the minute. But here goes Alex for the lead. He's done it already. What an incredible start. Straight to the front, spits the sparks at the front of Patrick Hathaway's car. Aaron Smith and Brian Crowell are coming through here as well. So I don't know what these boys have done, but they've lit a match, and honestly, they are flying. 2x2 though as they go across the line. Look at them bouncing. It's going to be never-ending excitement here. I'm absolutely loving this. Wiggling around even in a straight line as well. Adrian Burke's trying to come through as well. Aaron Smith chasing round the outside now will go on board. The drivers back then used to really have their hands very high up on the wheel, as you'll see on the left. In just a straight line, it looks like he's turning left. Aaron reaches the limiter there almost as he gets down the back straight, and Alex has gone very high up the top. So has Brian Crowell as well. Adrian Burks has made it past Blanquart. And Ivan Bauman's is in the pits and coming back out again. The car looking very second hand, but here comes the rabble. Here they are, down the straight, look at it. Oh, it's fantastic. That Ford with the blacked out lights on the front of Pat's car has to be my favourite looking car as well in this race this evening. looks the absolute dogs, doesn't it? Whoa, nearly contact there with Alex. And Alex was saying earlier as well in the driver's briefing they need to be very careful not to wash up wide. Sorry, it was Brian Kralls on the outside that he nearly hit. Brian goes to the lead. Alex is bouncing around up there. He's trying to make that high line work, but nothing yet. Look at them. He did say they were in a slide. They are literally drifting around that final corner. And on the exit, Brian Kralls just hops up into the front of Aaron Smith. It's the three Fords at the front now. Alex representing the Chevys. And then there's three of them behind him. And then Justin Nye dropping down a bit. Look at them. They are literally chucking them sideways into turn one. Fantastic to watch. Really hope you are enjoying this one, everybody. We may have a small grid, but like I said to Alex earlier, it doesn't matter. The racing's still as epic, and he sends it down the inside. They're going to be three wide into the final corner. I'm going to put this pen down that I'm holding before I snap it with excitement. Pat Hathaway's up wide. Brian Kralls is up wide. Has to get out of it a bit not to hit the wall, and Aaron Smith goes back to the front. Sparks are flying. Oh, Patrick Hathaway, very acquainted with the wall for the second time tonight. Smacks into it, really smacks into it. That was a hell of a hit there. Let's have a look at this again. Let's go on board. Look at the car bouncing around. He comes off the lock, but he's not got enough of it, and he realises. And it looks like he's gone right hand down, but he hasn't. We'll have another quick ganders. Out the final corner. Like I say, car just goes up wide. Bang! Absolutely clobbers the wall. And he's lost out now. Hans Blanquet is nearly a second ahead. But then this lot still fighting for the lead. It's still Kralls at front, with Cedric in second. And Smith, reigning champion, wants to show these boys that he's good in these cars as well as the Xfinity cars. Look at him. That never gets old. They literally drift into turn one. It's great. Absolutely great. Onto the back straight again. Burks wants in on this now. He's sitting there in fourth place with a front row seat to all of this. They look very different from the back as well, don't they, these cars? It's crazy to think they ran in the same period. He's got a lovely little fan there on cooling his feet down. I wonder if it's USB. Looks like the sort of fan you'd get USB powered, wouldn't it? It's quite crazy, that. More to the point, is it USB 3 or USB 2? Aaron Smith there, swapping places with Brian Kralls. Goes to the outside line. Him and Alex are very close to that wall. There's sparks everywhere again. Great to see them bouncing off the front of Alex's car as well. Looks fantastic. Look at that, round the outside and to the lead. Brian Kralls, you can see, wants to come up into that gap, but it's not going to work because Adrian Burks is there. So it's now two Fords and two Chevys. You know what, it'd be very interesting. I mean, I'm not sure what the characteristic differences would be, but I'd be very eager to see one of the Xfinity cars run against one of these, because these are so much faster down the straights. Wow, Alex is out of shape there, and he's in the wall. Really hits the wall hard. That was a big hit. Big hit into the wall for Alex Cedric. Watch it. Into turn one. He chucks it in hard, and it goes very sideways. There. Saves it, but then the car wobbles up wide, smacks the barrier, and again, we've seen that before where it sort of sticks to the wall. And he's dropped down a bit now behind Blancart. And he's got Pat Hathaway as well, the other driver that became acquainted with the wall, just behind him as they go over the line to start lap 16. Aaron Smith, though, 900ths of a second ahead of Brian Kralls here. The two of them very close together. But it's not flat out round there, like I was saying earlier. Once the tyres have gone off, they will not be flat around any of this track other than the straights. Bit of a wobble around there from Hans Blancart. In fourth place. That stage one racing car bobbling its way around in fourth position. Pat Hathaway's very close to the back of Alex Cedric now. seems like the Fords do not have the fans to cool the drivers' feet down. Must be a luxury that you only get if you buy a Chevy. Patrick's doing his best though to keep with Alex here. I don't know whether the damage has affected him that much. See the gap closing though. They didn't have rear cameras in 1987, so Alex isn't going to be able to see him. I'll tell you what, actually he will do, because they had mirrors in 1987, didn't they? The mirror was invented before then, let me tell you that. Brian Crowles has dropped off Aaron Smith a little bit here, and he's fallen into the clutches of Adrian Burks. Adrian looks like he's sideways down the tri-oval there. That was pretty hairy. Round turns 1 and 2 again. Spacing out a little bit now, though. Intrigued to see how they close up, though. And whether the guys behind can close in as well. They've got Ivan Bauman's not too far ahead here, actually. Look. Here he is going around the final few corners in the very damaged car. And there's the race leaders. Oh, Aaron dipped a wheel below the yellow there. That was sketchy. Very close. Cedric has now settled into the rhythm of this damaged car, and he's trying to close up on Hans in front of him. Easier said than done. Amazing pace of these things around there. I don't know how these guys did it in real life in the 80s. They must have had some assistance getting their humongous man fruits in the cars, because honestly, what bravery. We've not seen anybody go backwards and flip over yet. Don't forget, these things didn't have the flaps that we're used to now that keep the cars on the ground when they go backwards and slow them down. These things used to just lift up and go over. We might see that tonight, but I'm hoping not. It'll look very dramatic and very fun, but yeah, we want to keep as many drivers in this race as we can. Ivan Bauman's there just getting out of the way. Alex has put his nose down the inside of Hans Blancart. He's got it done through turns 1 and 2. Now Adrian Burks is his next target. Adrian seemingly sitting happy in 3rd position at the moment. He wants to be up at the front, but Brian Crowles is now, well, I was going to say putting the pressure on Aaron Smith, but he's already got the move done there as he takes the inside line, hits the yellow line, not the yellow car, I must add. But Aaron Smith with the cutback. Wow, I wasn't expecting that there. I didn't think he'd got the overlap, but what a move from Aaron Smith. And now Adrian Burks is in this fight as well. Just really kicking off here. Burks down the inside into turn 1 then. Crowell's having to hang it out around the outside. Side by side down the back straight they go. Really flying. Bring up the dashboard in the bottom right for you. Show you the speeds. 335 kilometers an hour. Absolutely crazy. And for us that like decent units of measure, I'm just going to Google that for you. That's 208 miles per hour down the back straight. So that's some incredible pace. Really incredible pace. Still fighting away. Doing 208 mile an hour into turn 1. Still side by side. Adrian Burks really wants this place. Slots in behind though as they go into 3 and 4. Look at the bouncing and the bobbling and the wobbling. A little bit sideways on exit. They've done quite a good run on these laps so far. Some of the guys pitted lap 5, some of them pitted lap 6. Interestingly enough, the 4 cars that pitted lap 6. Oh no, never mind. Ivan Bauman's pitted on lap 6 and he's further down, of course, but that is due to the damage. Very close into turn 1. Aaron Smith has gone up wide and Brian's surely going to get the run off the corner there. No, not quite. Does he get any side draft slingshot or anything of the sort? Maybe. Wasn't close enough to make it take advantage of it. Adrian Burks then Still can't quite break the deadlock here. So we've done 17 laps on these tyres, and with this fuel, Aaron Smith goes back for it on Brian Crowles. He's down the inside and into the lead. Goes the American. The only American in the race this evening. So he wants to withhold. He wants to withhold his pride as the American driver in the series that wins the race. Brian Crowell's all over the back of him though. The two Fords battling for the race lead here, doing a cracking job of it. And what a brilliant race we are having from them. Sparks and flames and everything coming out the bottom of that car. We'll go on the gearbox cam and look back. Look at that. Beautiful sight, absolutely beautiful sight. A big Thunderbird splitter flying up behind. To the inside he goes. Frame rate hates me because of all those people in the grandstands at Daytona. Sparks are flying. Round turns 1 and 2. Look at the closing speed there. It's crazy, isn't it? Bouncing around a hell of a lot. Oh no, Brian Crowles is in the wall, and that is surely going to bring out a caution. Brian Crowles hits the cone, ends up in the pit lane. That was convenient. That was very convenient for Brian Crowles. Wow. Let's have a look back at that then. Did he just hit the wall that hard that it just bounced off? He got sideways. Oh, this was a couple of laps ago actually. He's on the inside, hits the yellow line, car goes up high, just catches the wall and spits it out. He's lucky it doesn't flip over. He hits the cone, but luckily not the wall there. And that's surely going to be speeding in the pit lane for Brian Crowles. He's back out. Is the car still damaged? Yes, the front right is damaged, but no caution. So now Alex Sedgwick is right with these pair for the race lead. Just trying to think now how long it'll be until Aaron Smith gives this lead up and lets one of the other guys slipstream him around, because they may have to come in for fuel in about within the next sort of 10 laps. So close though between the top three, it's brilliant. Adrian Burks gets it nicely done down the inside there. Decent move. Alex is looking to come down the inside again though as they go onto the back straight. That was nice. Opens the door, 3 wide. Someone getting excited in the street and beeping. Love it. Adrian Burks is quite high up there. He's not letting Aaron Smith come down. Alex gets out of the way. They've got to worry about the tyres. Dancing around these corners, aren't they? Really dancing. You can see the humongous skid marks from where Brian went off just a lap or so ago. Hans Blankart's coming in on this as well. He's trying to get involved. Wow, Adrian Burks was very out of shape there. Aaron Smith is in there. He has to come down. Beautifully judged across the front of Alex Sedgwick, and what a great move that was. Let's just go on board with Aaron Smith. Watch Adrian Burks here. Very out of shape. Nicely caught. And Aaron says, right, off the throttle, dip down, bang. Through I go into the race lead. He's taking Sedgwick with him. But it's those little moments that are why Aaron is the reigning Vertex Stock Car Cup champion. Adrian Burks is not letting Sedgwick get away though. He's all over the back of him. We've got Justin Naya there, just rejoining. He pits on lap 27. Patrick Hathaway's in the pits there as well. Brian Crowles is still not pitting here. We've got Cedric though, fastest top speed on that last lap. Actually no, Hans Blankart, 210 miles an hour on that last lap. That was pretty amazing. He did a 44.8 to these guys doing 45.3s, and a 44.8 actually for Aaron Smith. So he was faster than Cedric and Burks last time round. Alex and Aaron have been battling so much though throughout this Vertex Stock Car Cup season. It's great to see them doing it again in these bits of kit. Looks like they're having a lot of fun doing it as well. You can see the drivers just soaring away at the wheel as they go past. But it's the Ford reigning supreme at the moment. The Thunderbird has thundered its way to the front. Well, I'll say thundered its way to the front, to be honest with you. Aaron Smith has led from the very start. He's seen off the challenges of Crowell, Cedric, Burks, Hathaway as well. But Justin Nair, Patrick Hathaway and Ivan Bowmans are all a lap down now, I'm afraid. Burks still sitting in third though. He's not going away here, is Adrian Burks. Putting the pressure on. He's just not pushing too hard to ruin the tyres at this point. Hans Blankart, don't count him out here. Hans is still happy behind these guys, although a bit out of shape there as he came out the final corner. Adrian looks at the low line, then goes back up to the high line. Very interesting move. Not sure whether he's trying something new, but it's not worked for him. Alex Cedric is now tucked up right behind Aaron Smith. Got to watch those temperatures and pressures as well when you're following in the slipstream. Of course, it's not doing anything to cool your car down when you're in the slipstream with someone else. Alex tries to get a good exit out of the final corner there on lap 33 out of 80, so nearly halfway. Well, some of these guys last pitted on lap 6, so they've nearly done 30 laps on this fuel. And as Alex was saying, him and Aaron Smith came in the pit lane again to make sure they had enough fuel to go as far as possible, because they were very far from being able to go all the way to the end of the race. Into the pit lane comes Brian Crowles. He slows it down and brings it in. And Aaron Smith and Alex Cedric both coming in as well. Adrian Burke's in too, so this must be the very last of the fuel they've got. Hans Blankart's gone through. Hans Blankart doing another lap here. The Belgian must have saved a bit of fuel slipstreaming the guys in front. And he is pushing that Chevrolet to the limit. Keep an eye though on Aaron Smith and Alex Cedric in the pit lane. Tell you what we'll do this camera so you can see everyone in pit lane. And then you'll see them light it up on the exit once they've taken the fuel on board. Doing the left side now. And Adrian Burks is out in front of them. Adrian Burks is gone. No lighting up the rears, no wheel spin or anything. And away they go. But Adrian Burks then has a nice distance over those pair now. Not sure whether he just took 2 tyres. Whoa, look at it understeering there. Wonder if Aaron and Alex are having the same. Trying to get it to steer around that flat infield section. And Hans Blankart's in the pits, by the way. Hans Blankart has come in. Waiting for him to go. We'll go on the pit lane camera again. You'll see the guys probably coming around any second now. Yeah, there they are. That is Adrian Burks flying around. He'll come into view now. Look at the speed of that thing around there. And round goes Adrian Burks. Where is Alex Sedgwick and Aaron Smith? There they are. And Hansi's struggling so much to get that car up to speed there on the infield. Some epic work by these guys so far to keep these cars wrestled around this track. But Adrian Burks then, after a great pit stop window, has taken the race lead. Now whether he's only taken right side tyres or not, we will have to wait and see. That is Ivan Bauman's just coming back out on track there. Real shame for Ivan, started second on the grid and he lost out after the incident early on. Bouncing off the wall was Justin Nyer and then into the side of him. Really damaged the car from there. But these two are the closest cars on track now. Aaron Smith just ahead of Alex Sedgwick. And there is the car in front in the race lead, Adrian Burks. All the way around the outside. Some of them taking the high line, some of them taking the low line, and it's quite interesting because they're not always getting the most out of them all the way up there. Good evening, guys, on the Simply Race YouTube stream. I've just tuned in, so do get your comments in on there. If you do want to comment on the stream, everybody head over to the Simply Race YouTube channel. I was on the Vertex Esports YouTube channel as well. Please do remember to subscribe as wow. Okay then, Alex Sedgwick. Is he just eating his Weetabix halfway around the circuit? What happened there? How's he done that? He was tucked right up behind Aaron. He got a mega run down there and then he just disappears off into the distance throughout the final corners. That was amazing. The pace he carried through there was just absolutely unbelievable. He's still trying to get past Adrian Burks though. Side by side as they come out the final corner. Sorry, that's the exit of turn 2, not the final corner. Back into the lead goes Alex. Back into the lead goes Adrian. So the two of them not giving an inch here. Get ready for the Sparks show. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love it. I'll turn the car volume up a little bit for you as well so you get a bit more of the roar of these machines. And I tell you what, we all like a bit of immersion, don't we? We all love a bit of it, so we'll go on board with Aaron Smith here and turn it up for you for a lap or two. Here you go. Speeds they're getting around here are absolutely disgusting, aren't they? 335 kilometers an hour we were seeing earlier from some of them. It's just absolutely bonkers pace. I hope you enjoyed that though. That was Nice little bit of immersion there for everybody. Love the amount of detail in these cars as well. You can see the ignitions as well on the dashboard there. Look how simple the dashes were as well back in the day. It's epic, really is epic. But Alex Sedgwick just ahead though, is not quite getting this done on Adrian Burks here. He's trying so hard. It's great to see Adrian doing well though. He had a bit of an upside down season with Vertex Stock Car Cup. Went to the Charlotte Roval, which is one round that he will not want me to mention because he had a nightmare there. But he had some good showings at the oval tracks and he's doing a great job here. Don't forget, of course, Alex Sedgwick is a real-life Euro NASCAR driver aiming to make it over to the States and race in what we're going to call real NASCAR. So Adrian, and I know the guys as well in the championship, love having the chance to go up against Alex and the likes of Ben Kriener as well. But this is a great showing so far by Adrian Burks and Aaron Smith. Admittedly, two of my favourite drivers in the series. They're both great characters, very talented sim racers. But Adrian at the moment is keeping Alex at bay. Well, there's the inside of the engine if you wanted to just see how that was modelled. Oh, we've got a yellow. Justin Nair. Justin Nair has had an issue and he's hit the wall hard by the look of it and then suddenly come down the track, but that's what they needed. Oh, he loses it into turn one. Oh no, the car's going to wash up wide. Hits the wall hard. Oh no, and that's Hans Blankart. Hans smacks into him. Let's go on board with Hans. You can see he loses it out the way, smack into the wall, and he tries to go low as best he can. And that is a humongous hit for Hans. And wow, I tell you what, Brian Crowles must have absolutely pooed himself there. Let's have a look at this, and Brian Crowles, you can see the 737 in the background coming in very hot. There's the contact. Oof, it was close, but to be fair, from the onboard there, Brian had that all under control. And Hans Blankart coming in the pits understandably with a very damaged car. Doesn't quite get it in gear there by the sounds of it. Adrian Burks now behind the pace car with Alex Sedgwick just behind. Aaron Smith still in third. Brian Crowell's now a lap down on the top three. I'll show you the gap as well on the left hand side so you can see. It does show the distance to Blankart because he's in the pit lane. But 1 lap down, Crowles and Hathaway. Justin Nair 2 laps down. Ivan Bauman's 5 laps down. Brian's going to get that lap back here, I believe. We'll see the guys in the pit lane then. Let's see how they get on. Never really thought about using this camera for pit stops before, actually. I quite like it. So there is Aaron into his box. Oh, that's a bit far, that, Aaron. Oh, no. That's cost him time there. You'll see them go up on the jacks. Well, it doesn't look like Alex's car's gone up on the jacks yet. Maybe Alex is repairing the damage. Either that or it's just not animating it, but Alex's car has definitely not gone up on the jacks. Adrian Burks leaves the pits. Aaron Smith doesn't yet leave. There you go. But Alex Sedgwick has not moved. Maybe he's just repairing the damage and knows that he'll get the time back behind the pace car. Very interesting stuff. It's not quite worked for him here, has it? You can hear the car started up. Now maybe it'll go up on the jacks. Still no, that's Brian Crowles just coming in behind. He's revving it, he's putting his foot down. You can see the pop of flame and away he goes. Yeah, not quite sure what the situation was there with that one, whether it didn't animate it or not, but Brian Crowles is going to be the next one out. He's just in the black car there with the yellow splitter on it, and the Thunderbird is away. out of the pit lane he goes. So Adrian Burks then still leads the race. Aaron Smith is back in the pit lane, so I think maybe taking more fuel. Not sure whether you can only take a certain amount for a pit stop. Look at Brian Crowell's struggle to get this car around turns 1 and 2 on new rubber on a flat surface. It must be an absolute nightmare. And then he's managed to do it very successfully, so nice job. And you can see at the other side of the circuit the cloud has come over. That's Ivan Bauman's on the inside in the number 268. Single file restarts, of course. The cars that are a lap down will start on the inside. There is no green-white checkered in this race either, by the way. For any of you fans of green-white checkered finishes where it all gets very, very exciting and kicks off. Even though, like I say, we've not got the biggest field here, we've got some epic looking race cars tonight. Oh, Alex has just messaged the Vertex group chat that we're in, and he said that he's gone for a wee while the crew got the car's repairs fixed. So he's jumped out the car, gone over the pit wall, and had a wee. Well, to be fair, Jack, they are doing another event for this, I believe, next week on the Wednesday. I'll grab you some more details for that, and I will let you know, mate, because this is an absolute corker, this one. So if you're up for it, mate, they're doing another one, but the restart is underway, though. Adrian Burks then leads them away onto lap 48 out of 80. Patrick Hathaway is now just behind him, but he is a lap down. Oh, and he's in the wall again, is Pat Hathaway. This is not going well for him. Hans Blankart is second in the race with Aaron Smith racing him now for that position. Brian Crowell's just behind them. Then like Cedric and Pat Hathaway, who is a lap down, of course. Side by side, Aaron Smith around the outside of Hans Blankart. Brian Crowell's going with him as well in the track velocity racing car. Look at Aaron Smith making that high line work. That's some real pace from Aaron Smith. That Ford Thunderbird is absolutely off like a bolt of lightning at the minute. Wow. Pat Hathaway, he's involved in the fight still because, you know, he's been that far down the order after his incident earlier. He wants to still race against people, but Aaron Smith making that high line work now takes the lead of the race, although Adrian Burks swaps back over in front of him on the timing screen on the left. Pat Hathaway's going to go for the whole shot, is he? No, he's just going to get slipstream off Adrian. Brian Crowell is trying to come into this as well. Let's go on trusty blimp cam. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, we're too far away for that, aren't we? Let's go on chopper cam. There you go, that's more like it. Smith on the outside of the number 17. The number 72 is Adrian Burks. 48 Brian Crowell. 34 Patrick Hathaway. Patrick is a lap down on these boys though, so Brian doesn't want him to get involved in this fight. You can see them wobbling around all over the place. And look at that, just behind Hans Blankart, making up the time here. Aaron is really taking that car up high. I have mentioned already as well that these cars are not flat out around these corners when the tyres do go. Aaron now comes down to the bottom line. He knows what's best. Around the outside goes Brian Crowell. Can he make that work on Adrian Burks? We'll have to see. Oh, honestly, so nerve-wracking when they get sideways on the exit of the corner. Patrick Hathaway is very, very quick at the moment, though, in that Thunderbird. Around the outside, Brian Crowell's trying to carry the speed, but it's not easy on this bumpy surface. This, of course, the old Daytona before it was resurfaced. This scan of it, I believe, was from 2008. Great that we can still go back in time like this, though, in the sim racing world. And look at Adrian Burks now, getting close to the back of Aaron Smith. He knows that bump drafting is not a thing in these cars. It will just end up in somebody being airborne and backwards and upside down. Great persistence though from Brian Crowles here to try and get around the outside of Adrian Burks. I was told as well to get on the gyro camera. Apparently it looks fantastic, so we'll grab this. There you go, look at that. On board with Adrian Burks, you can see the severity of the banking as it levels out. It's going to give me motion sickness. I will find out for you, Jack. Do not worry, mate. I'll have a quick look for you. Darlington, the Darlington 250. That's where the next one's going to be. In these very cars as well. So they're hoping to get more numbers. Because you can see here, everybody, how good the racing is with just a small pack. Can you imagine this with more cars? Be absolutely amazing. Alex has dropped off the pace a little bit here. He's quite a bit further down than he was earlier, so I'm not quite sure why. Smith is finally in the race lead ahead of Brian Crowles again, back in his rightful place. These boys are having such good scrap. Lap 54 now out of 80. Almost into the final quarter of this race. Brian Crowles is not giving up. Him and Aaron have raced together in pretty much every round of the Vertex Stock Car Cup. Oh, it sounded like someone hit the wall there. I think Patrick Hathaway again hitting the barrier. Look at that, flames and sparks. We look back though, they're all for position, except for Patrick Hathaway at the back of the lime yellow and green Student Motorsport machine. There's Adrian Burks just poking his nose out there, very ominous in the background. Such an 80s looking car, isn't it, that Chevrolet? It's fantastic. It reminds me of the old Buicks with the really square front end, but prettier. That number 48 Thunderbird though is looking very menacing right now, Brian Crowles. And the car's getting mucky as well, and they look great for it. They look absolutely great for it. Pop some bangs. What a run Brian Crowles has got there. No restrictor plates in this race, of course, and Brian, no restriction on how fast he's going to go past Aaron Smith. Although Aaron says no chance, around the outside. All over it is Aaron Smith. Side by side for the race lead. Adrian Burks once again in the hot seat here watching. Hans Blankart does not want Patrick Hathaway putting him under pressure though. Patrick just wants to get involved and have a bit of fun. At the same time, he can't have too much fun because we don't want him to ruin anybody's race or slow anyone down. He'll know that as well though. He's been nice and kind at the minute, nice and respectful to these boys. Look at that, oh, shaped there by Hans Blankart. Oh my goodness me. That was a very sketchy moment there for Hans. He will be just jumping out of his skin right now. Interesting note as well, look at the front, oh, sorry wrong camera, look at the front of Hans Blankart's car. Caked in flies and rubbish. Looks absolutely smashing. The sparks go flying as well. This is epic racing, isn't it? Absolutely epic. Very grateful for Vertex for putting this on. Alex Cedric's worked hard on sorting this out with Adam Owen as well. I will put a link to the website in the YouTube chat, on the Simply Race YouTube chat for you all. make sure you head over to Vertex-Esports and you will get all the information you need on their upcoming races and the Darlington 250, which I will link in there for you. Because that's bound to be an absolute corker, that one. And like I say, the guys are still accepting entries for it. So please do get your entries in, and then you too can be on the grid in just under a week, next Wednesday night, doing this, but at Darlington. What a race that'll be. Now Adrian Burks has dropped off a little bit here, and Hans Blankart is going to be all over the back of him, trying to take that position. Adrian's last lap was a 44.9, Hans Blankart 45.1. But the guys ahead were 0.2 of a second quicker, so they've just opened it up that little bit that they needed to. Just that extra bit of difference. Aaron Smith, though, only has a 1/10 of a second over Brian Crowles, and I'll tell you what, that certainly looks like less than a 1/10, doesn't it? So close. Still bouncing around. These cars just float around turns 1 and 2. We do still have Ivan Bauman's on track in a much cleaner car. Justin Nair has been in the pits for quite a while now. Alex Sedgwick is there in 5th position in his Chevrolet. It's not quite going his way now. At the front, it's very interesting though. Adrian Burks chasing down Brian Crowles and Aaron Smith. Those two at the front have really become the class of the field in this latter stage of the race. Then we're into the final quarter, lap 61 out of 80. Really hope you're enjoying the stream. I'm your host Chaz Draycott, as I have been for the entire Vertex Stock Car Cup seasons. I've loved every minute of it. Like I said earlier, Chris Dawes is away this weekend commentating at Donington Park on the FIA Historic Masters race meeting, which I'm very jealous of him for. And into the pits they go then. Smith comes in, Hans Blankart again makes it last another lap. Patrick Hathaway's going to go with him. But let's have a look what happens here then between these boys. Here they come then into the box. Aaron Smith in the yellow car, Brian Crowles in the black car. Brian gets it stopped nicely. Aaron overshot his box last time. Ah, Jack Werrell, your dad's covering that as well. Smashing. Good stuff, mate. I hope they have a good weekend. I'm very jealous. That's Alex Sedgwick coming down the pit straight. Aaron Smith away very quickly there. That was very, very fast for Aaron Smith. Sedgwick goes through, takes the position. Brian Crowles is still in the pit lane, just coming out now. Adrian Burks hasn't even started moving yet. He's still sat in his box at the top of your screen there in the gold car. Oh, and in the pit lane in the background, who's that having a nightmare on the way? And that's Hans Blankart. Hans Blankart has had a real moment here. I was told earlier it's difficult to get these cars on pit lane. Let's see what's happened here for Hans. Starts to slow it down. Oh, and on the brakes. Oh, it just gets away from him. Nice 90-degree drift there from Hans Blankart. Reverses, gets it lit up, and sets off on his way down the pit lane, but that's not ideal for him. Alex Sedgwick now takes the race lead. Whether this was in his plan or not, I'm not sure. Aaron Smith then is in second. He's gone past Hans Blankart. Patrick Hathaway's also gone past. He's now up to 3rd position here. That car all over the place though. Speeding penalty, yeah, maybe. Maybe so. He could have been serving that at the same time. Crowles is now 4th. Burks is down in 6th. Blankart is trying to get this pit stop done as quickly as possible, but it's been 50 seconds so far. Adrian Burks had a 50-second stop before. It's now a minute for Hans Blankart, so that's gone out the window, I'm afraid. Alex Sedgwick still leading the race then. And they've all spread out a little bit now. We've got 10 seconds back to Aaron Smith, who is then 6, nearly 7 seconds ahead of Patrick Hathaway. Then we've got Brian Crowles, 3.8 seconds behind him. And it's 33 seconds to Adrian Burks, so they really have spread out. Although Alex Sedgwick is losing a tenth of a second per 100 metres. Ah, right, okay, yeah, I get you now, Jack. Yeah, that's a good point. Blancart may have got a speeding penalty for entering the pits so fast, which is a shame. At the end of the day, it's an honest mistake for a driver to make. But here's your race leader then. Aaron Smith is now 8.2 seconds behind, with Adrian Burks, who is 5th in the race, just in front of him. Adrian won't want to get in his way, but they all want to have a fight and have a bit of fun here. Flying down the back straight together, side by side. Let's see what the speed's like going into there. 330 kilometres an hour there. It actually refreshed to. That's incredibly fast. Just shows you how bonkers these guys were back in the day. Look at that, nearly 330 out of the tri-oval into turn 1. They're doing over 300 kilometres an hour around pretty much all of the circuit. It's incredible pace. Let's have a look at it down the back straight now then. Read 330 for a second there. That's absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers, but all this time they are closing in on Alex Sedgwick. The gap is now 4.3 seconds. And it was 10 seconds a lap or two ago. There is Alex, and just in the background, there is Smith and Burks in the very top right of your screen. There they are. Hopefully these boys don't have contact, because this is going to make or break the race for Aaron Smith, but Adrian's helping him along. And now Aaron breaks the deadlock, gets in front. And onto the inside line now goes Aaron Smith. Patrick Hathaway's still in 3rd position though in his Ford Thunderbird. So 3 Fords inside the top 4. We have 3 Chevrolets in the race, 5 Fords. Patrick's car looks very unsettled, and has done for a lot of the race. I'm not sure whether that reflects on the car or Patrick's driving style, but it's been different as Alex Sedgwick has lost the race lead that quickly. There you go, then Aaron Smith retakes the lead, everybody. And Adrian Burks isn't going to be far behind either. The other Chevrolet. Through he goes. And he wants to go through, although actually, sorry, that's not for position, is it? Adrian Burks down in 5th. So Adrian, if anything right now, is a headache for Aaron Smith. Coming on to lap 69, giggity of 80. Down the inside then, Adrian Burks. He's just loving being in this fight. Washes up quite wide there into turn 1. Wow, that was a hell of a moment. Aaron Smith won't appreciate that one. We'll have a look back from Aaron Smith then. There is Adrian and there is Alex. Alex trying to tuck in the slipstream. You need it when your car's as aerodynamic as a house. You can see the spatters and the muck on the front of Adrian Burke's car there. Great shot here looking back. Adrian getting closer and closer each time. The pace is so similar between all of them as well. It's epic to watch, really, really exciting. Gets closer again. I believe that is Adrian Burks through. He's not quite cleared Aaron, but that means that Aaron's got to now sit up on the high line. And Alex is going to get the slipstream off each of them no matter where he wants to go. So we're going to go on to lap 71 out of 80 now in the Firecracker 200 on Vertex Esports. And Alex is closing in right on the back of Aaron Smith. Now look at how quickly that gap changed and that situation developed. Alex may play this to the very best of his abilities towards the end of the lap. They've both done their personal best Sector 1s this time round. See whether they can do that on Sector 2, although Alex has dropped back a little bit there. Watch the times as they go to the line. Personal best from Aaron Smith, a 44.293. What a time to do it. But Alex has just been towed along here. A bit sideways there from Alex, though, into turn 1. A bit more than he would have liked. Just trying to find the gap anywhere he can. He's almost bumping Aaron Smith now. Through the tri-oval once more onto lap 73. 7 laps to go. Adrian Burke's here watching with intent. Further back as well, Patrick Hathaway has been overtaken by Brian Crowles, and into the pits comes Patrick. Student motorsport car not having the most straightforward of races, so Brian Crowles now back on the podium. That's Ivan Bauman's, his teammate, just behind there in the red and black car, number 268. Some great retro liveries on these machines, I love it. But it's side by side for the race lead. Alex Sedgwick down the inside of Aaron Smith. So close together. Although, that is the dice rolled for Alex Sedgwick then. Into the pits he goes, and Aaron Smith continues out front. Now, he pitted on lap 61, as did most of the others. So he will make it to the end on the fuel. Brian Crowles goes up to second. I'll have a look what Alex is doing in the pit lane. He's already on his way out. A 6-second pit stop for Alex Sedgwick there. Aaron Smith had a 12-second pit stop last time round, and Brian Crowles had a 21-second pit stop. So whether Alex has just taken what he needs to get to the end. The number 4 Kodak livery, eh, Jack? Very tasty. Tasty indeed. Alex drifting that car on pit exit, pushing it as hard as he can. He's got 17 seconds to catch up now in 5 laps. I'm not sure that's going to happen, I'm afraid. I do have a lot of faith in Alex's abilities as a driver, but I just don't see that happening that quickly, unfortunately. Adrian Burks, though, he's just along for the ride now with race leader Aaron Smith. He's just enjoying himself out there. We'll have a look on board from Adrian Burks, shall we, at the car in front. Look at the sparks being spat up there. Look at the speed that Adrian Burks has got off that corner. That's disgusting pace. This is brilliant. Hopefully this doesn't end in contact with these pair, because of course this is Aaron Smith's race win. That is on the line. So's his right door. Not that these things had doors. The bit that would be the door, I imagine. Brian Crowles will be happy to come back up to second place, though. Started 5th on the grid. A very simple livery on his car, looks nice. Alex Sedgwick has overtaken... actually, no, sorry. He hasn't overtaken Adrian Burks. He just never lost the place to Adrian Burks. 6.7 seconds. The gap to the lead now is 39 seconds actually to Aaron Smith. There is Brian Crowles in second. And there is Aaron Smith. So Sedgwick comes out the final corner to then cross the line. Aaron Smith is just coming out the final corner now. So there's a lot of work needs to be done if you're Alex Sedgwick. But he's still on for a podium, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that one. Aaron Smith's just having a bit of fun here with Adrian Burks. We go on the nose camera. Look at this. It's fantastic. It's interesting to see the real thing Coca-Cola sponsorship, because I had my first full fat Coke in so long earlier, and it was lovely. I enjoy Coke Zero, but nothing quite does it like full fat Coke. Or should we say classic Coca-Cola, the original Coca-Cola. Let's get the full brand name in there, shall we? But Aaron Smith, what a drive so far. Coming on to lap 79 of 80 now, there you go. Just this lap and one more for the American and the reigning Vertex Stock Car Cup champion. Showing his class once again here with such consistency and precision. Adrian Burks, though, has shown that he's got some real pace to run with the front runners, so keep an eye on him for Darlington, where we go next week in 5 days' time on the Wednesday. If you do want to sign up, please head over to vertex-esports.com, because that's going to be a hell of a race. In these cars, it's open to anybody that wants to enter. It is a paid entry, but trust me, with racing like we've seen tonight with just 8 cars on track, it is going to be worth it. So, white flag in the air for Aaron Smith. A bit further down the order, by the way. Hans Blankart is only 0.6 of a second ahead of Pat Hathaway. But it's this man that we need to keep an eye on. Oh, or we would keep an eye on him if his internet allowed it, because wow. There's a time for a blink for Aaron Smith. Into NASCAR's 3 and 4 for the final time. Round they go. Adrian Burks is going to have to do another lap unless he slows up here. But the Firecracker 200 from Vertex Stock Car Cup is won by Aaron Smith. What an absolutely brilliant drive. Untouchable once again. And the reigning champion makes his mark in this special event as well. He can be very proud of that one. Brian Crowles, fan favourite, comes across the line in second position in his Ford Thunderbird. A 1-2 for Fords in this race. Alex Sedgwick recovers to third position. A bit of a topsy-turvy race strategy-wise from him. He went for a wee in the pit stops. And ultimately, it was that toilet break that might have cost him the race there, I think, I have to admit. But still, podium for Alex Sedgwick. And he'll be beaming from ear to ear. He'll have enjoyed that. Adrian Burks finishes in 4th place. Blankart was 5th, with Hathaway just behind in 6th place. 0.2 of a second between those pair. Let's just have a look at this, shall we? So just behind on track, the race was finishing, but this was the final lap then for Patrick Hathaway, trying to chase down Hans Blankart. It looks like he could have had it done down here as well. Wow, Hans making him go low. Oh, he gets to get out of it. Doesn't want the incident. And tough defending there from Hans. Means that Patrick cannot open the door and get the place, but there is your race winner, Aaron Smith. And he will be very, very pleased with himself for that one. What a fantastic result. I've received an image from Alex Sedgwick. Let me just check what this is so I can tell you live on air. Remaining fuel, 0.1 gallons. What a brilliant call that was. So called it to perfection there. But there's your race winner, reigning champion and newly crowned champion, Aaron Smith. Takes that one from Brian Crowles, 21 seconds back. Then Alex Sedgwick, 40 seconds back. 45 seconds was Adrian Burks. And then we have Hans Blankart rounding out the top 5. Patrick Hathaway finishes in 6th position, with Ivan Bauman's unfortunately 6 laps down, and Justin Nair had to retire as well pretty early on in that one. So, once again, we're going to come back to the interviews part of the evening. And, well, to be honest, we have to start in one place and one place only. It is Aaron Smith that is going to join me in the box. Aaron, well, first off, very well done. But, to be honest, coming from winning the championship to then winning the first event afterwards must feel pretty good, mate.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was expecting to have a pretty good run in this race, but to win by 20 seconds is certainly exceeding my own expectations.
Well, I can imagine you still enjoyed it, though. It looked like quite a lot of fun out there tonight. What did you make of it?
Oh, it was definitely a lot of fun. The tires would wear pretty quickly into the run. We were slipping and sliding all around. I mean, all three lines are pretty well accessible, but we had a pretty good run there, and it seemed all my competition fell apart in the pit lane. On the last caution, Alex pit, got caught too far behind the field, and then it seemed like Brian and Adrian kind of made a mistake and ended up coming out apart. We were just able to pull away from there and get the win.
And we noticed that, obviously, at the end of the race there, Adrian Burks was like a sort of a dumbed-down sparring partner for you. Were you enjoying that battle, or were you worried it was going to end in tears?
A little bit worried at some point, because my internet had been slowing down just a little bit. My quality bar was starting to get a little bit yellow in the sim, but other than that, it was pretty fun to have someone to spar with at the end. Wanted to let him by, just to make him run that last lap, but pretty good race.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he had a good run as well. I mean, it was a shame that I think he might have got a speeding penalty in the pit lane, or something went wrong for him at one point that dropped him right back in the pit stops. But it was good to see that a lot of the guys, I mean yourself included as well, that have shown themselves to be quick on the ovals and the Vertex Stock Car Cup in the Xfinity cars, can also do it in these old bits of kit as well. And I was just saying earlier that they may be old and not quite have the aero or the technology and may not look as exciting as some of the new cars that come out, but they certainly do shift in a straight line, don't they?
Absolutely. Just weaves all around.
They do like a wobble, but it was very entertaining to watch as always, Aaron, and of course a fantastic drive from yourself. You just always seemed in control of it. Before we let you go tonight, though, do you want to give anybody a shout out, mate?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at Vertex for putting this on. It's a shame we couldn't get that many cars in this field, but it made for some pretty good racing with a lot of talented drivers, and I'd like to thank you for broadcasting and everyone for watching.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Great to speak to you as always, mate. Well done, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Cheers. Aaron Smith there, newly crowned champion of the Vertex Stock Car Cup, and a brilliant character all around. Speaking of brilliant characters, though, the number 48, Brian Crowell's Track Velocity Racing, joins me in the box. Brian, that looked like a hell of a lot of fun, that.
It was a lot of fun. These things are so... They drive so stupid, it's fun.
Well, I've heard people say they drive differently, but I've not heard anyone call them stupid yet. But it certainly did look like they bobble around a hell of a lot. And I tell you what, the Daytona surface as well on this old version of it is sketchy, I think is the word, isn't it?
Oh man, those bumps. I mean, it's kind of okay in this because it's old enough where it just floats over the bumps, but it's still pretty hectic.
It looked like there was a lot of control needed on the throttle, and as Alex was alluding to before the race, it's not going to be flat out around that whole thing because you have to worry about the bumps and whether the car's going to spin up the rears and get loose, and we saw a couple of guys doing that. Did you have any moments during the race where you thought, okay, I might have to dial it back a bit here?
No, actually. I was prepared it wasn't going to drive like it should. But I mean, the time it went into the wall, it's the third time it's done that. If I follow everyone's lines, it just sucks me down into that wall for some reason. So I was afraid of that happening today, and lo and behold, it did. So, well, I guess we recovered to second, which wasn't bad, but...
No, definitely not. I was no offence, but I was actually quite surprised to see you that high up there in the end, but it just all sort of fell into place again after the incident, which of course was a shame to see, but well, I mean, we all know how easy it is to do. I mean, Alex had it himself as well that you saw early on. He had a big old hit in the wall, and it seems like they stick to the wall when they hit it because they bounce around that much.
Yeah, they kind of do. They kind of do stick to it, and with this damage model, when you get sucked into the wall at a little bit of an angle, it tends to shoot you off like a pinball. That's kind of what happened to me. I still don't know how I kept it out of that wall and just slid into pit lane, but...
Yeah, actually, it was a good effort, to be honest with you, but yeah, we saw a few of the guys tonight just kissing the wall a tiny bit, and like I say, when the wheel makes contact with it, it just spits off to the left. And there was actually an incident behind with, I believe it was Justin Naya was involved initially, and I think he went into the side of, I think, Patrick Hathaway? I think it was Patrick. Oh no, sorry, it was Ivan Bauman's, your teammate, who got hit in the rear corner, and you know, those two cars just completely bounced off the wall, and it can catch anybody out, really.
Was that in the start?
It was, yeah, it was quite early on, yeah, the first incident of the race.
Yeah, that's what happened to him. Yeah, it's a shame. He had some good speed with him. He was faster than me. I was like, bloody hell. he was doing really good. It was a shame to see. I hoped he did a bit better, but you can't have it always in racing, can you?
Very true indeed, mate. It is the fickle nature of motorsport. But great to speak to you as always there, Brian. Well done tonight. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to you guys again for keeping this up, even though it might be a bit down now with the world starting up again. I'm sure some people will come back up more towards the winter and stuff, and we'll keep having fun with this. EVP for sponsoring me on the cars. Yeah, that's about it.
Smashing stuff. Thank you very much, Brian. Good to speak to you as always, mate, and I'll speak to you very soon.
Good evening.
Cheers. And well, we'll cram one more in, and we know he loves a chat. Third place finisher in that one, then Alex Cedric. Alex, that fuel call, first of all, that was on the money, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, just about. I mean, I kind of put myself in a bad position, really. Obviously, I had a long pit stop on that last yellow to repair some damage, and then came back the lap after to get new tyres and top up with fuel, and just didn't really think about timings, and then obviously get back up to the pack by the restart. So my own fault, really. But no, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, I tried at the end to stretch fuel out and managed to go a lot further than I thought I would, but was still a few laps short. Was just hoping for a safety car, and then had a little splash and dash and nearly didn't make it anyway. But yeah, no, in all, it was a lot of fun. You know, it's a small grid, but a lot of close racing and some really, really good drivers, really, really good action. And you know, these cars, hopefully it came across in the stream, are just so much fun to drive. Obviously, you're always on the edge, always pushing really, really hard with them. So no, lot of fun. Obviously, been nice to have won, but I'll try to do that next week.
Well, yeah, to be honest, mate, watching these cars bobble around like mad, that's the phrase I've been using mainly. Around turns 1 and 2, and then onto 3 and 4 coming off there, through the tri-oval even, we had cars going sideways through there, and I mean, just watching them drift now through turn 1, it just looks absolutely brilliant. There's sparks flying, there's flames from the exhausts, and it's a great spectacle. And if I'm honest, I mean, I know you're in one of the Chevrolets tonight, but I really love the look of that Ford Thunderbird. What a pretty car. And you can just see how softly set up they are as well. They really do look like they bounce around from the onboard. Is force feedback an issue? Because I imagine the wheels going a bit mental when it's doing all of that.
Yeah, it's hard work, because I think the biggest thing is with the old technology that's being used. You know, it's such a big steering ratio. The smallest option is 14:1, whereas in a modern Cup car, you're running 8:1, 10:1. So you know, you have to kind of saw at the wheel, and there's a lot more movement going on. And then obviously power steering systems, if you even have one, was a lot more basic back in 1987 than they have today. So yeah, hard work for sure. My arms are feeling it from going karting 2 days ago and bruising all my body up, and then making myself work hard on the sim today. But yeah, you know, a bit more hard work to drive, especially with Daytona as well. You know, you see Daytona in the modern Cup Xfinity cars, even, you know, in a pack is quite easy to drive in a way. It's more about proximity and obviously getting a run on people. That's the hard part. It's more mental. Whereas you still really have to drive the car and work hard to, you know, make lap time. But it's good, because obviously, as you saw when I got into the wall early on, you can still get back up to the leader as a single car. If you lose the draft, it's not the end of the world. Whereas with the modern cars, if you lose the pack, then it's kind of game over. So
yeah,
a very, very kind of different style or a different approach that you have to make. But But yeah, I mean, the main thing obviously is it's been a lot of fun.
Cracking. Well, it was certainly great to watch, mate, and thank you for putting it on, and thank you for having me on as well. I have made the guys aware as well that the Darlington 250 is still scheduled for next week. We believe we may have a Jack Werrell that wants to get involved in that one, so we'll hopefully be seeing him on the grid as well. But how are you sort of heading towards that one? Are you expecting a bit of chaos around there? Because I mean, Darlington, a bit of a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the few tracks that even in the modern Cup cars with a lot of downforce, everything like that, is still really, really hard to get right. So then you take away all that aero, you give them horrible old tyres, no grip, no mechanical grip, really soft setup, a car that just wants to bounce and move around the whole time, and 250 miles to get through. So yeah, 184 laps of Darlington on Wednesday. Should be a lot of fun. You know, it's very, very different to what we've seen here, but expect, you know, just as much action, just as much going on. All of us working just as hard as well behind the wheel. So you know, hopefully we'll a few guys that have been watching tonight have seen just how much fun these cars are, and get involved for that one as well. It'd be cool to have a bit bigger of a grid, and obviously come and test yourselves out and see how you get on.
Yep. Well, hopefully we see a couple more out there. It should be good fun to watch. But thank you as always, Alex. And before I let you go, mate, do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
As always, everyone that's just helped put it on, you know, Chaz, yourself behind the scenes, obviously Robin, Race Control, Mike, Adam, everyone who's a part of our sort of Vertex Esports team, everyone for taking part as well. Obviously, without competitors, it's not possible to put these races on. So yeah, thank you to everyone for taking part. Thank you to everyone for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Brilliant stuff. Nicely said, mate. And I will indeed see you next week, and I'll speak to you very soon.
Sounds good.
Cheers. Alex Sedgwick there, eventual third place race finisher, and of course the man behind the Vertex Stock Car Cup, as well as Adam Owen, as well as Mike Yao, Rob Pearson, myself, Chris Dawes as well. We all have a fantastic laugh putting these things together, and really do hope that you enjoy all of them. But that was the Firecracker 200 on Vertex Esports. I have been Chaz Draycott, your host this evening, and I've really enjoyed myself for that one. As you've heard, don't forget to join us next week for Darlington 250 on the Wednesday evening, same time again from 7:30, where we will be having plenty of action around there and a lot of concentration from these drivers. But for now, thank you everybody so much for watching, and I wish you a brilliant, brilliant evening.